This video is so exciting because I'm going to be showing you how to highlight and contour for a round face like mine. Be sure to continue watching this video so you can get all the tips that you want and need. Hey y'all, welcome back to Rock Natural, and today I'm coming to you with a new video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a rounder face shape look more slim by enhancing the features that you want to show and then slightly sculpting some of your face to make it look like you want it to look. Let's get right into the video. So I'm actually going to be starting with the highlight to kind of show you what I use for like highlighting the areas of my face. I did go ahead and do my foundation and my eyebrows offline. You want to make sure that you choose a foundation color that is very close to your skin color so it doesn't look like you have a floating head. The other thing I want to point out is that I did do my eyebrows off camera, and I find that if you have a more round face like me, that you want to do your eyebrows a little bit thicker. That way they fit the rest of your face. So now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and talk about our highlighting under our eyes. So I have this e.l.f. shade, and then I have this one from Too Faced, and this one is a little lighter, this one is a little darker. I'm going to be starting with the darker one because it matches my skin tone closer. So when you're placing the highlight on your face, you want to make sure that you stay in this area, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. So you want to stay in this eye area here, and then that way when you blend it'll go out a little bit, but you don't want to bring it too far down, and then you don't want to bring it too far down here. And so when I do highlight my forehead, I keep it low because we're going to bring our contour a little lower. Same with the nose, bring it down the center of your nose, just a little bit here. So the point of doing this is to have the high points of your face stand out more, and then when we contour, we're gonna sculpt our face a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my damp beauty blender. Make sure that your beauty blender is damp because you want it to pick up product at the same time blend in the product. And I'm not really going to bring this out much, I'm really just going to pat the product into my skin here. And so you want to just focus this in the area that it's in, you don't want to bring it out too far. And so in this case you want to make sure that this highlight color stays here. And so the reason why I start with a highlight color that is the closest to my skin is because it helps the transition from using a lighter contour not to be as, or a lighter highlight not to be as harsh. And then you can also bring this up a little up the side of your nose. But I would just say people highlight and contour in different ways, and you have to find what works best for your face shape. So now that we have this color that was really close to my skin, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of the lighter in the inner corner here. And I'm not using a lot of this because I do want the highlight look, but I don't want it to be so dramatic. And so I'm just going to do the same thing for this. I'm not going to take it too far out or too far down. I'm just going to pat it and then like blend it out a little bit to each side, and then up the side of the nose a little bit. As you can see, you can already see a difference, that it looks just very vibrant and light, and I'm not bringing it out too far. So like you don't want to bring it out all the way out here. And this is just something I am still learning as a makeup artist, is really, you know, finding what the face shape needs. So there, now we have the highlight all complete. Now we're going to go in with some contour. So I am going to be using a cream contour first, and then I'm going to be talking to you about powders. The reason why I like this Too Faced concealer is because it is meant for sculpting, so it's a multi-use concealer. And we're going to go ahead and use this in the areas that we want to contour in. I am going to just use a little bit on the side of my face. We're going to go at an angle here so it's not as light, it's more here. So you only really need a little bit of the contour because the blending is going to do most of the work. So a line here and a line here, and the point of this is to give you this deep shadow here to make your face look slimmer. Okay, and then as far as the forehead, it just depends on the size of your forehead, but for a rounder face shape, like let's say your forehead wasn't as long as mine or as big as mine, you would just put a few lines on the side of your face here and keep the contour on the side. For me, I'm gonna put on the side and then a little bit on the top because I do have a little bit more of a bigger forehead. And then we're gonna do the nose, but we're only gonna use powder on the nose. And then in this case, you could also do your chin area here if you had, if you wanted to contour more of your double chin. I personally do not do the cream contour here underneath my chin, but I will sometimes do the powder. I like to take a brush first and then use my beauty blender if I need it, but most of the time this brush, this is like this angled one today. So I like to pat the color in place and bring it down. So we're not going up, we're just going in the area that we really want it. And I need my mirror for this. So as you can see here, this is really creating this depth that we want on the side of our face. And then if you need to, you can go in with your beauty blender to kind of blend in this demarcation line here between the highlight and the contour. Let's go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. And I mean, this is a throwback thing and many people don't do this often anymore because they're kind of familiar, but go ahead and suck in your cheeks if you need to see that line that you're really wanting to create for yourself. This is kind of the effect we're wanting to give without actually doing that to our face. So I like to use a warmer contour color and then like to use like a cool bronzer and sometimes even a contour color on top. So you also want to bring this contour into your hairline so that there aren't any hard demarcation lines. And I'm just patting and rubbing this out to the side. So leave a comment down below and let me know if you know your face shape. And if you don't know, then there's like multiple pictures online. I can even insert some here to show you the different type of face shapes. But as you can see, my face is already getting some like snatched features, and so we're going to go ahead and continue. So now that we have the cream contour all set in place, we're going to go in with the bronzers and the powder contour. So I use a variety of powders. Like there's a bunch of different contour bronzer powders out there, but these are just a few that I like. The first one is, as you can see, this contour kit palette has gotten a lot of love, but I like to use a combination of these three down there to kind of sculpt, and I like the middle one because it is more of a cool tone. But then I also like to use this, which I've been using for some time, this bronzer powder in the shade Saddle, also by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And both of these just kind of give me the look that I'm going for. So I'm gonna start by using the contour kit, and I'm gonna use a combination of these two colors here. I've told you all this before, but like when I'm using my brushes, I like to get like 2 or 3 uses out of them before I wash them, because I use the same brushes for the same things. So obviously when I do my clients, I'm washing those brushes after every use. So that's why you partially see some product on here already. But we're gonna go ahead and tap in here and tap in here. And then I just like to put this in the line in the part that I want to carve out. And so I like to use a brush that has a little angle here because I find that it just gives me the results that I want. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the others. And then we're just gonna tap and rub a little bit on the outsides here so that we're not looking crazy. And I can always see what this looks like from a side angle. More. All right, so now that we have the contour, I still want to go one more to kind of give this the depth that I'm going for. And so now that we've gotten the contour out the way, we're going to go ahead and bronze up our face a little bit more. So like I said, I am going to be using this powder bronzer in the shade Saddle by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And then this you can use more in a circular motion all over the face. Not all over, but in this area. And this will just help warm up the face even more and give you the look that you're going for. So now we really want to make this very defined. So what you're going to do is go ahead and take some setting powder and kind of carve out this area here. And we can take this bronzer, just some leftover powder that we have here, to kind of carve out this place of our face. As you can see, it's shaping my face. And this is how you can eat tacos and still have the face that you want. So now that we have all of the powders for the contour in place, we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of this RCMA translucent powder, or you could take whatever powder you want to take, and we're just gonna put a little bit of this in our hands and carve out our face. So what I mean by this is put a little bit on your beauty blender, and then right under your contour, you want to go ahead and put this powder. And you don't want to bring it all the way in because you still want this to be super defined. And then we're just going to get a little bit more and do the same thing to the other side of our face. The point is to do like a sharp line because you're like cleaning up the contour. Okay, so in this moment, while you're letting this basically bake, I don't necessarily like to bake underneath my eyes, but I do like to take some type of powder. So I like to use this powder from Sephora, and it's the Micro Smooth powder. But I just like to take one of these brushes like this and swipe, put a little bit underneath my eye so that it stays nice and not shiny. While we wait for our face to bake, we do want to go ahead and contour our nose a little bit to make it look slimmer. So I'm just going to be using an angled brush like this one, and taking the bronzer powder. You could take the bronzer or the contour powder, tap it off because you want it to be very light, you don't want it to be harsh, and just bring this down around. Can you see the difference? And then do the same thing to the other side. And I like to bring it up towards my eye so that it stays connected. And this really just depends on the shape of your nose, but the whole point is to make it look slimmer. As you can see, it already looks slimmer. And so now that this powder has set a little bit more, I'm just gonna take the same brush I used to apply this Micro Smooth powder underneath my face and tap it off, and then in a circular motion just gonna brush this off. And then what this will also help do is get rid of this, soften this line a little bit. So we still want it to be, you know, sharp, because from the front you want it to look very slim, but from the side you want it to look like it's all one. Same for the forehead. Now this is an added step, but you could take this same contour and bronzing brush and bronze up this cheek area here if you want. And I just like to use what's already on there because I don't want it to look like I have 3 sets of lines on my face, and then I just want this to kind of darken and blend in a little bit more. Okay, so here is the finished product. Slim faces for the win. And one thing that we did not talk about was blush, but let's just go ahead and do that really quick. So if I'm applying blush, I like to use this Saharan blush palette, and I actually like to use the shade that has some highlighter in it already. I'll go back and forth between these shades, but depending on the look that you want, like if you want a very cutesy look, then you know it's okay to apply the blush right here on your cheeks. But when you're applying it, you should apply it a little further back, just like right above your contour, so that your face is still, like, it doesn't enhance your cheekbones unless that's what you're going for. So I just like to take the blush up here a little bit, kind of keep it away from the apples of my cheek, and then same on the other side. Sometimes I even like to just brush it here, but as you can see, like, you can see the blush, but it's not enhancing my cheekbones, and I don't look like they don't look super round or enhanced. well, that is all for this video. And like I said, be sure to check out this video here where I'm showing you how to pick your foundation shade, and then be sure to check out this video here so that you're all caught up. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button and you want to learn more about beauty tips and tricks and lifestyle with women empowerment, then be sure to hit the subscribe button so you do not miss out. I'll see you in my next upload. Toodles!